How's about popping? It's D about to react to another vid by Levy TTV. It's titled OVO versus XO. Did the Weeknd's people spend the block on Drake's mansion? Okay, so Drake's mansion just got shot up or whatever the case. And I guess people are saying that the Weeknd is behind it. I also saw some people saying that, oh, Kendrick is behind it, which that don't make sense. And then other people saying, well, Kendrick exposed his address. That also don't make sense. He didn't expose the address. He just showed the map of it. Sure, it shows the street, but I feel like, isn't that public information? And I know here in LA, like, I know where a lot of celebrities live here. They have actual Hollywood tours that take tour buses to these people's houses so you can see their houses. So we know where these celebrities live. Like, it's not really a secret, but they usually have security. But that's common information typically where these people live. So I don't feel like Kendrick exposed any secret information whatsoever. But yeah, apparently people are saying that the Weeknd's people are behind it. Let's see what she has to say. Let's watch.
Hey tea sippers, happy Tuesday. This is like my third video, but I'm honestly back in like my zone. I think I was burnt out for a while and was just over these same repetitive stories. But I'm back in my zone and it's a lot going.
Listen, I've been burnt out. But I just keep going. I have a very, very hard time just stepping away when I should and taking breaks. Very hard time doing that. Like, whenever I kind of start stepping away, I'm like, girl, go work, go do something. The fuck? Terrible.
And so I gotta break this down. Okay, it's just been announced who was shot at Drake's house. We knew it wasn't Drake, but it's just come out that it was one of Drake's security guards. This is all over CNN, TMZ. It's saying police investigating shooting of security guard outside of Drake's Toronto home. Now, let me play out this clip really quick, and I'm gonna come back with what I'm being told and what I'm thinking.
Police confirming a shooting occurred outside the home of Canadian rapper Drake in Toronto. This happening overnight in the wake of an escalating beef between Drake and hip-hop star Kendrick Lamar. This is the scene outside of Drake's home in the city's Bridle Path neighborhood, courtesy of our CTV News chopper. Police say a man sustained serious injuries after a shooting outside that home and was taken to hospital. Police also say a suspect fled in a vehicle, but no description has been released. So far, there's no word on whether Drake...
But Drake raps about being in gang shit and having shooters and da-da-da. So what is he involved in? Since he's so gang, 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 and he bought that life. And mob ties and da-da-da-da-da-da. That's what he talk, right? That's what he say, right? So apparently he got some ops.
At home at the time of the shooting, but we understand from police that he has offered to fully cooperate with them. Joining me now is Mark Mendelson. He is a former homicide detective, and he joins us now to discuss the developments in this case. As Mark, we're waiting for more word from police. Details are very scant right now. But what do you make of this shooting? This, for our viewers across the country,
I think the timing is very
known
interesting.
as the Bridle Path, this neighborhood. It's got a lot of mansions, but it's pretty open. It's not as though it's a gated area.
Yeah, good morning, Marcia. You're right. It's not a gated area, but there are very, very large homes in that neighborhood. And what goes along with large homes like that is a lot of security cameras,
right?
And other security precautions that are taking place. And if you ever had the opportunity to drive past Drake's residence, you'll notice that there are gates and there are walls and there is sort of strategically placed trees, etc., to provide security. And there are also uniformed security guards at the residence. And it's my understanding from a source within Toronto Police that, in fact, it is a security guard who is the victim of the shooting, who was working at the time.
Let me see.
Described to me as a drive-by shooting. And as you mentioned, the police have put out a suspect vehicle. So that's all we really know at this point. As you fairly stated, we don't know if Drake is at home, if he's in the country, or wherever. And now what the police are going to be doing is looking at the motivation behind this shooting. Again, there's lots of security cameras in all kinds of homes around that area. Lots of security guards in other homes as well and patrols. So they may have information of investigative value as well. But they'll be looking for the motivation. And of course, Marcia, in the backdrop of all of this is this sort of feud that's been going on, as you mentioned, with Lamar. in terms of who's dropping songs and who is disrespecting the other one.
Oh my
and as
God.
early as this morning, somebody actually went on Google Maps and re-tagged Drake's residence as Lamar's residence. So it's this feud going on. Now, whether this is all for clicks or for publicity, nobody knows at this point. But it really doesn't take anything more than somebody being offended by what they're seeing or reading to decide that they're going to take things into their own hands and commit this crime.
All right, so you guys just watched that clip, and they're saying that the security guard was working outside of the gate. He wasn't in the home. Now, remember when I went live a few streams ago, probably like 2-3 streams ago, and I said that there was a shooting in LA that just happened over the weekend on Saturday, and it had to do with the Weeknd's security guard. Supposedly somebody was also trying to break into the Weeknd's compound in LA, and his security team was shot. Let me go ahead and play out this news clip.
That's why, listen, I don't want a house, okay?
In HD with details, Scott.
These very famous people begin their house broken into all the time.
You see the emblem there on the basketball court, and that's a record label of the Weeknd. And then you see the guard shack. You see a chair that's toppled over, and then you see what appear to be evidence markers.
The guard is shot multiple times outside the Encino mansion of a hip-hop music executive. The search is on tonight for 3 suspects linked to what police believe was likely
all the way out there
home invasion robbery.
KTLA's Chris Wolf is live in Encino with more on the shooting and reaction from neighbors to the increase in violence in the community. Chris?
That's right, Cher and Micah. This estate is located at the end of a very long private road. And we're told that the security guard was shot either inside or near his booth, which is on the perimeter of the property. They struck under cover of darkness in a posh neighborhood of Encino, possibly planning to invade the home of a record label executive. Authorities say intruders shot a 37-year-old security guard multiple times when he was either inside or near his booth on the edge of the property. The victim was still able to call 911 shortly before 2:30 a.m. Footage from Sky 5 shows the door to the guard box open and a toppled black chair a few feet from it. The $12 million estate along Jaden Lane is reportedly equipped with a state-of-the-art security system and recording studio. Reports show it belongs to Amir Ismailian, notably associated with XO Records and also known as Cash XO. He's worked with several top hip-hop acts and other well-known musicians, including singer-songwriter The Weeknd. An LAPD detective says Ismailian and others were home at the time of the shooting. The victim tells investigators his attackers, 3 men, wore hoodies and surgical masks.
Very interesting, yeah. This looks like Canadian beef.
Fire.
Should I be concerned? Yes, probably, but I don't tend to stand.
All right, so you guys just saw that news clip. And so I find this very interesting, and I'm seeing a connection. So last weekend, no pun intended, the Weeknd security guard was shot. Thank goodness he wasn't killed. But he was shot at his $12 million property with people trying to do a home invasion on the weekend. And then this morning, the same thing happens to Drake, okay? Now, if you guys don't know, EXO and OVO have been beefing for years. And for a while, we thought the beef was over with. If you guys remember, 3 weeks ago, back around April 12th, A$AP Rocky and The Weeknd, they jumped on Metro Boomin and Future's song, but this song was called We Still Don't Trust You, okay? So that's when The Weeknd was singing that diss towards
only
Drake.
3 weeks ago? I feel like months ago.
So this whole situation is getting
this year
really
is
crazy.
starting to feel long.
What I'm hearing in the streets of Canada, the tea that the Canadians are spilling, they're saying that this shooting is some type of beef between EXO and OVO. So if you guys don't know, Drake and, like I said before, if y'all don't know, Drake and The Weeknd have been beefing off and on for years. And we kind of thought everything had died down until The Weeknd jumped on the We Still Don't Trust You track. So let me go ahead and kind of break down for people who don't know like where this beef stems from and why they're beefing. So a long time ago, like back in like 2010, 2011, 40, who is Drake's producer and, you know, comrade, for lack of a better terms, 40's been around Drake from day one. Like he said in God's plan, if it wasn't for 40, there'd be no me. So 40 has been with Drake from day one. So 40 ended up meeting this young man, Abel, who is now The Weeknd. And Abel was just very talented. He was a raw talent. He could sing. He could write.
And he was a crackhead.
And so they took Abel, The Weeknd, under their wing. And
they got him off the street. You
know
what? The Weeknd ain't shit, actually. Well, that don't mean he needs to sign his life away. So I feel him with, thank God I ain't signed my life away. I get it. But they definitely took you out the crack house, my brother, and saved your life, I feel like.
And Drake really liked The Weeknd. He thought he was, just really talented. And so The Weeknd
I fuck with The Weeknd.
Contributing
I love
at least
it,
5 songs to Drake's
his music. I don't know this nigga.
one of my favorite Drake albums, which is Take Care. So he helped him write at least 5 songs.
But I'm just saying, facts are
Take
facts.
Care album, like Take a Shot, Crew Love. Crew Love is one of my songs. They be loving the crew. They be loving the crew. They be loving the crew. Okay, I can't sing like Weeknd, but y'all get the point. That was the jam back in the day, okay? But The Weeknd was the one who technically wrote on that song. And so years later, we find out that he did all this writing on the album because he finally just told it all.
Oh, he made some great music back then.
It's more of a singy-songy album. So anyhow, OVO basically thought they had it in the bag.
And it's Toronto love, man. And that's somebody that I love with all my heart. So I just needed to say that shit. This is him right here. If you didn't even know what it is, man, OVO XO shit. Featuring Prince.
They thought, okay, we put you on, I put you on stage with me. I let the world know who you technically are. You're basically Team OVO. You're indebted to us. But the whole time, The Weeknd is really peeping game. And he's seeing how everybody else who's been signed to Drake, they're not really flourishing like that. Mm-hmm. Because again, like I always say, it doesn't make sense to sign to an artist who still wants to be an artist. Party Next Door is very talented, but where's Party Next Door today?
On coke, playing with his nose. And releasing terrible music. His new album is horrible. Jesus Christ. He also used to release some great music back in the day. I don't know what happened. Jeez.
Oh, and he bounced in 2012. And he wanted to sign with Republic. And Drake was not feeling that. Remember, Drake had sent out this cryptic message.
Drake said he didn't care
Twitter,
in the interview.
And a lot of people didn't know what it was about. So Drake basically says, you won't get away with just a thank you. You owe me a favor. And that tweet is still up to this day. Okay, he posted that December 11th of 2012. Well, that tweet was for The Weeknd.
It's giving I'll get you and your little dog too.
They did do a lot for The Weeknd. They gave him visibility. He was on stage rocking with Drake. He thanked Drake for putting him on.
Damn. I did not.
And now all of a sudden you're going to sign with Republic, which was the best thing for The Weeknd.
It was,
because
though.
Now we get to know The Weeknd for who he is, who, he's a singer and everything else. But it really affected OVO because The Weeknd went on to make millions of dollars for Republic that technically should have went to OVO because OVO put a lot into The Weeknd as far as getting him visibility and getting people to know his name. So Drake felt like he lost millions when The Weeknd turned on him, quote unquote, and went to go sign with Republic. But Drake was definitely in his feelings. So then what does Drake do? After The Weeknd ends up breaking up with Bella Hadid, all of a sudden, Drake is now allegedly dating Bella Hadid. So then he ends up making this song called Finesse back in 2018. And in Finesse, Drake is basically saying, I want my baby to have your eyes. I'm going against my own advice. Should I go to New York? I can't decide. Y'all remember this damn song, Finesse, okay?
Should I do New York? I can't decide. Fashion Week is more your thing than mine.
So that was Drake in the Finesse song, and clearly he's talking about Bella Hadid.
He said he only lip locked with her.
The Weeknd definitely felt the way. So the very next year, The Weeknd dropped this song called Lost in the Fire, where this is basically him singing a diss towards Drake. So like I said, all of these guys have been subbing each other for years. You just have to really be on top of it to, pick it out. They all throw Easter eggs in their music. So this is the diss right here towards Drake. And he's basically saying, I want a baby with the right one because I never want to hide one. Which is, goes back to the whole Pusha T blasting Drake for hiding Adonis and the story of Adidon. So this situation with Drake,
I don't even know what he be saying sometimes.
Deep. So once the Weeknd sung that, Drake dropped another song called The War, and he was basically like, oh, that was my nigga. We need to sit down and talk and hash it out.
And they made up on
stage. So a lot of people thought that, everything was, on the up and up. And Drake even did an interview saying that, they spent all this time beefing when EXO and OVO could have been a big thing. They're both from Canada. They're both talented. Here's the clip right here.
That we probably wasted 7 years not communicating with each other when we had something beautiful going on. Like OVO EXO still could have been a thing.
All right, so you guys just saw that clip. So now we fast forward to today, and I'm seeing Drake's security guard shot, and then last weekend, the Weeknd security guard got shot.
Skip some steps.
OVO versus EXO. Are me and the Canadian tea sippers reaching? I don't know. You tell me. But the whole situation is
I agree.
insane.
I think
either way, I just hope
Canadian
again, all of this stuff dies down and it stops getting crazy out here.
Yeah, leave Kendrick out of this. I don't think he has anything to do with this. I don't think him posting that pedo app picture, whatever that is. I don't think him posting that had anything to do with it. I think this is some Canada on Canada crime, and I think they need to resolve it. That's what I think. So best of luck to these Toronto brothers. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see y'all the next time. Bye.